And welcome back to Sorcery, everybody. We are about to go see why the square is on fire. I also don't think I'm going to be able to get back to the temple over there on the other side of the bridge. It doesn't seem to want to let me over there. So I'm never going to know about that God's message. The impossible question. You emerge back into the square. Okay. You walk to the center of the square and turn about, peering into the narrow alleyways that lead off in every direction. To the northwest, they wind between residential buildings, stacked precariously on top of one another. To the south, the alleys seem darker and rubble-strewn, and there are fewer rooftops in that direction. So, weird. Not going to find out why it was on fire. You look around at the various exits. Through the arch, down the alley. Of course we're going down the alley. Back roads all the way. You choose a random alley on the right side of the square and slip into the shadow between the tall buildings. The houses on either side are well built and well defended. There are iron railings on the windows. Some even have arrow slits and portcullises. One householder has dug a moat across his front door. Outside one building, a tall man stands with a grappling hook. You hang back and watch as he swings the hook twice, aiming for one of the windows on the ground floor. It misses, clatters to the street below. The man curses before gathering up the rope for another try. You stride to the man as he swings. Help him out! Let me try that, you declare. The man turns around, almost jumping with surprise, but quickly smiles. Thank you, stranger. Much appreciated, I'm sure. He hands the grapple to you and indicates the window he's after. Run off with the grapple. What's in there? You ask, as casually as possible, while swinging the hook around your head. It's my house, the man sighs. I locked myself out. Well, if I help him out, I might be able to steal shit from his house. Or get information. See, I'm not being good for the sake of being good. I'm being good for the sake of getting information and then getting shit from them later. That's my whole thing. I just want to do stuff for people so I get shit from them later. You never know who around here is going to give you help later and, risk your life for a mask that lets you detect people's thoughts. Like, seriously. Swing and throw. Toss the hook up to the window and it catches. Excellent, the man exclaims. Thank you. Takes the rope, tugs twice, and begins to climb. At the window ledge, he pushes and calls someone inside. Esme! Esme! Just put the knife down, Esme! With that, he clambers over the windowsill and into the house. Wait and watch, or... You know what? I might need this. Tug it loose. You grab hold of the rope and whip it, trying to free the hook from the sill. In doing so, you place yourself directly under the window so that when, a moment later, the man comes tumbling out of it, he lands directly on top of you. Picks himself up and shakes himself down. I never should have married an elven, he mutters to you. Nice eyes, very unforgiving. He hobbles away as whoever lives in the house pulls up the grappling line and slams the shutters. Well, shit. Should have run off with it. The street is falling into disrepair around you. Something has blighted this region of the city. Even the trees in the gardens behind the mansions have turned black where they stand. The only greenery is the moss on the stone walls. There are no rats scurrying underfoot, and only spiders roost in the rooftops. You pass a particularly grand house. Its door is locked with a heavy iron chain. Of course I'm going to look at it. There's a metal S bolted beneath one garble. It's perhaps an owner's mark, perhaps there to stop the wall falling into the street. There is a ringing noise down the alley. A hooded creature with a bell around its neck is approaching in shuffling steps. A long black robe conceals what manner of creature it is, but it walks slowly as though in great pain. Around its neck is a bell, ringing with every heavy step. Greetings, stranger, you call? The creature with the bell does not look up but continues its shuffling approach. Now that the creature is close, you can hear it singing. They are sighing painful breath. I wonder. Is there anything I could cast on it? I mean, I'd probably cast the healing thing on myself. I could try Doc. Don't know if it's worth a healing brew, though. I do not know what spell might be useful in this situation. Except the healing one, but that's Got D, J, little m, little d, and F. And S. Wow, there's a lot of options. What if I try Doc? Just a... I don't have many medical brews, but I can always rewind time. Otherwise, I'll just use it on myself, and that won't hurt. Let's try it. Little D. O. C. Sure. You cast a spell over your potion, creating a strong healing medicine. The effect will last as long as the magic does, but when the magic fades, the potion will evaporate. If the hooded creature passes, you can smell a terrible stench of death you encountered in the village. Aha! Throw the potion at the creature. You wait for the creature in the robe to come close, and then you toss the potion at the space under its hood. It wails in alarm, raising its clawed hand to its face. A moment later, it falls completely still. Its hands are feeling over its face. Then it pulls down the hood, revealing a young woman. You just catch sight of a deep, dark boil melting away from her skin. Good stranger, she murmurs, what have you done? Cured you, but of what? The woman laughs, shocked and surprised. I have been suffering most dreadfully. I did not think I would be long for this world, but now I feel quite myself. I had almost forgotten how it is to feel well. What disease? A plague. I am no apothecary. I do not know its name. She smiles. I will return to my village. My mother will be so pleased. She blamed herself when I fell ill. It is a miracle. Which village? Small place in the hills. I'm sure you do not know it. Was it Biratani? I know I've been here. That's right. How did you guess? I have been there. The plague village is nearby. That's where you will find your family. If you cannot... There is a plague village. That is where you find your family. If you cannot help but think they are still alive, she takes a step away. I should be moving on, she says. I have a long way to go. Let me ask about this city port. Of course, though I do not know what I can tell you. I've seen so little of Kare since I arrived. Once they saw I was ill, they dumped me quickly out here in the wastes. I am looking for a beggar. Who lives out here. Is there such a creature? She nods. There is indeed. He lives in the ruins of the old church. I believe he was someone important once. Sometimes when I was lonely, I stayed with him, keeping quiet so he would not know I was there. I have heard him murmuring in his sleep. What does he say? He murmurs a phrase to himself, but I do not understand it. A curse of some kind. She shakes her head, but I have forgotten it. She looks back over her shoulder at the falling sun. I must be going, stranger. She grabs your hand and squeezes it firmly, then dashes away up the street. At the last moment, she turns and calls back. If you're going to the fallen quarter, mind you avoid the mill wheel. Then she is gone. See? Helping people? Get information! I'm just being a good guy so I can get the information. Keep saying that. This is my thinking. I do good things and then I steal from people because chaotic neutral. That's my rule of thumb. That's the way I play games. My favorite role-playing way is chaotic neutral. Don't give shits about the law, but you might do good and you might do bad depending which one will benefit you more. Haha. The door to the house is locked with a heavy chain. You try to pry it with the tip of your sword, achieving nothing. Okay, let's cast another spell. I'm running out of stamina. Gonna need a good night's sleep here eventually. D-O-P. Turning your attention to the building, you cast a spell and it tumbles to the ground. Enter. Yeah, like I'm gonna run away right as soon as No, you slip through the doors into an empty house. You push open the doors and step inside the dark house. It's a mansion on a grand scale, larger than even the abandoned house you explored on the lower side of Kare. There are at least 3 floors and 2 great doors leading off to wings on either side of the entrance hall. From the back of the house comes a voice. The Lord is not at home. Which Lord? I know. Who's there? I know. Figure shambles forward, resolving itself out of darkness into a tall ogre wearing the livery of a manservant. His eyes are tightly closed. Lord Shivana is not at home, he intones once more. Please leave. Where is he? I need to find him. Lord Shivana is dead, the creature replies. He will not be returning for some time. Where has he gone? The necropolis. I must now ask you to step outside, gesturing to the door. Push past. You elbow past the creature, meaning to explore the house. In return, the creature opens his eyes, and a searing red flash burns your arm. I regret to inform you, ma'am, he says, that I am part red-eye. Then he grabs you by the burnt arm and hauls you out the street. Narrow alley opens up to your left, slipping between the buildings. One clue. Worth a shot. Follow the alley, follow the road. I have 4 health. How much healing? How many? I think I only have 1 more healing brew. Oh, I do have 2 doses. I don't know if I need to cast the spell on it first. Don't know that it's going to be worth it if I do. But 4 is pretty low, so let's drink. 7. Not quite half, but it's worth it. Alley. You find lots of strange things in the alleys. You slip between the buildings and emerge into a dirt track that dodges around piles of rubble on either side of the street. It looks as though a gigantic boulder has rolled down the path, crushing everything in its wake. Even the pebbles underfoot have been ground to a fine dust. A few berries grow on the side of the track. Kneeling down, you look at the blueberries. They seem perfectly ripe and glisten with juiciness, but you do not recognize them. Smell it. The smell is rich and quite enticing. Pick a handful. A few are squashed in your palm and coating them with dark juice. Put them in my bag. I'm not going to eat them if I don't know what they are, but they might be useful later. Someone's be like, oh yeah, I need these berries. They're very rare and hard to find. I need it for this magic potion. Oh, I just happen to have some of those berries with me. Always think ahead. Alright, so I'm actually going to check out my clues, because I got a lot of clues. 4 nobles know the spell. Sansa's is in the graveyard. There's a portal trap at the mill. I know the ritual. It's the eyes and the forehead that I just happen to work up. If I can find Kurga, he's also in the grave. So I gotta make my way to the graveyard. Shrine of Slag. Between the well and the docks. I need more information on him before I can do that. But I think the next stop is... And he's in the ruins, too. The Fallen Quarter. Okay. So, the Fallen Quarter and the Graveyard are the 2 I need to go to. So, the Fallen Quarter is down here. I can find the Beggar in the church down here. I think I'll do that since I'm closer. You emerge from the alley into a wide area of wasteland. Once this was a busy city district, but now it looks as though a hurricane has leveled it. Nothing stands higher than head height. A few staircases lead to nowhere, and in some places a door still stands. Plants grow from every crevice and crack as though someone had poured green paint all over the whole scene. Things are constantly moving and shuffling between the leaves. Perhaps somewhere here you will find Theta, the beggar who used to be a noble. Follow the road. The road, such as it is quickly smothered by piles of wreckage. There are lots of other ways to pick your way through. One possible route leads up and over the side of a broken down house. Another passes by what must once have been a mill. Fuck no! You would have to climb over the mill wheel to continue. Look at the broken house. The house has been sliced like a many-layered cake, showing the floors of what were once inside. Opened rooms have been stripped out of their color by the wind and light, and of their possessions by a decade or more of scavengers. But there are still hints that this place was once a family home. The hooks in the ceiling above the hearth, the marks notched on a ground floor pillar that suggest the height of growing children. We're going through the house. Fuck the mill. I'm not even looking at the mill. You clamber up the fallen rubble to the roof of the broken building. From here, you get a clear view across the rest of the wasteland. It stretches for a mile or 2 and will take about an hour to cross on foot, and at its far side, a tall iron fence thick with ivy slices across the land, perhaps to keep the people of the wasteland out, or to keep whatever is beyond the fence in. In the distance, you see dark shapes moving across the sky. Why not? We'll eat. You perch on the collapsed chimney stack and eat a nourishing bomba fruit. The dark shapes in the distance wheel and turn about around the steeple of some tall building, perhaps once a church. Some kind of bird? It's hard to be sure. Once you are finished, it's time to continue. You make your way down the far side of the building and back into the path beyond, which soon forks. So we'll go this way. Left always seems to be the correct answer in this game. You make your way through a wasteland towards a church. Most of the building is in ruins, but a tall steeple still reaches for the sky. Circling the steeple are two dark shapes that look like enormous birds. At the foot of the church, a man dressed in rags is curled up asleep. This is the guy I'm looking for. You stop and peer to look at him. Could this be Theta, the blind beggar that you were told to find? His face is curiously familiar. You have definitely seen it somewhere before since you arrived in Kare, although you've not seen any other beggars as filthy and smelly as this one. Yes! This would be the guy in the painting! You reach down and wake him gently. At first he doesn't respond and you wonder if you're too late, but then he sits up sharply. Who's there? He demands. I'm under attack! Under attack! He rubs his eyes and reaches out with dirty fingertips for your face. Introduce yourself. Why not? Greetings, you say. The beggar groans and grumbles. What did you wake me for? I can see in my dreams, you know. I'd rather stay there. Are you Theta? The man looks absolutely terrified by the accusation. He begins to curl up around himself and scream. It seems like quite a strong reaction. Then you see he's not looking at you, but past you. You turn your attention skywards to see two dark shapes that are hurtling downwards, beating leathery wings. They are creatures you saw flying around the steeple. God-cursed harpies, he declares bitterly. They come for me every time. Every coin I get, every apple, every stinking crust of bread. They come and take it from me. What did I do to deserve such torment? Step in front of the beggar. You push the beggar back and stare into the sky. The harpies are screaming down towards him. Ugly, dark-skinned creatures with sharp talons on their arms and legs, coming to tear out what is left of his eyes. Alright, what spells do I have? I've got W, P, G, H, little m, little d, and I know that's a Greek symbol. Wow. A lot of options. Let's see, which one? It probably... I'm thinking like zap or hot. Foff could be a barrier. I could do a big. That might defend against them. I don't think there was a B though. Oh, yob. Maybe now would be a time for the yob. That would be a good chance. I could use the mask. I don't think there's a G though. I wonder if maybe the giant, either making me giant or giant's tooth. We'll try yob. Why not? We haven't done it yet. We have the option. We had the option a second ago. There we go. Y-O-B. Summon a giant. You cast the spell, flinging down a giant's tooth on the ground and casting your enchantment. A moment later, a giant towers before you. The beggar begins to weep and panic, trying to dig himself a hole in the dirt with his fingernails to no avail. You instruct the giant to pluck the first harpy from the air and crush it, which he does with ease. The second harpy yelps in alarm and flies out of reach, waiting there to see what happens next. Wait. A tense minute goes by, then your spell ends and the giant vanishes and the second harpy screams for the holy mother of God. That is a lot of stamina. Wait till you use all your shit and then I'm gonna go after you. 4, 9, and let's see if we can get it. Yes! Yes! 3 stamina. Good enough. Beggar creeps out from his hiding place and thanks you 2 or 3 times over. Give him back his badge. Talk to him. Lord Tita, I'd like to talk to you. He sighs. That's my name. I don't deny it, he replies. I'll talk to you. I'll talk to you happily. Ever since the blindness struck me down, I have been tormented by those demons, and now they are dead. You have saved me, or as much as I can be saved. Give him his walking cane. Here, I have something for you. You take his outstretched hand and place the walking cane into its grip. His fingers find its familiar shape, and he leans quickly onto it with a sigh. My old friend, he murmurs. This saw me through the worst times when my eyes were failing. I hardly need it now, of course. To demonstrate, he spins around on the spot, gets his legs into a tangle, and sits sharply down, laughing. But thank you, stranger. You are indeed kind. The beggar shivers against a sudden breath of cold. The afternoon is waning. Evening is approaching already. Days are growing shorter, Theta remarks. It's like that here, near the Balklands. I only have one ration. I can't give that to him. Tell me about your spell line for the gate. Happily, he says, I am glad to be rid of it. It was... Oh no, my memory is not as good as it was. Let me see. It was... He racks his brains, thinking for all his worth. Wait. You wait patiently for him to remember. I got it, he exclaimed. By Korga's grace and something's pride. Oh, but I can't remember what that something was. Beggar makes a coughing sound. I'm starving, he whispers. So hungry. I only have one ration. Try to remember. He shakes his head. It's gone too far, I fear, like my sight. It was the name of a god, one of the old gods. The god of pride, no less. Oh, I know which one. No, that's not pride. Malice is the one over on the west side. Maybe you can find out somewhere. You could ask Kurga, the god of grace, for his help. This god lives in a temple that way. He waves roughly northwards. Tell me about Kurga. How can he help me? Kurga sees all and knows all. Suddenly Beggar grips your wrist and squeezes. But you risk your life if you talk to him. Remember, please, the left eye. That's how you start. The left eye. What happened to your eyes? A black eye curse, and I know who cursed me. It was Sansa's. Once he was a good ruler, fair and honest. He ruled Kare like a kind father looking after a cherished daughter. Nothing was too much effort. But he began to fear his other counselors. He thought they were plotting against him, ready to overthrow him. Go on. You can see he is shaking it, very active, remembering. You gesture for him to continue. Well, the beggar whispers, he began to take actions against us. First, moving the portal traps around without telling us. Then later, people started to disappear. Shinva first. He was cursed to a living death. Then Mulas, equally cursed to a dying life. And then me. He begins to weep once more. I don't have any food to share with you. You curse the beggar for his useless half-help. Then you look to the track ahead and take your leave of him. You follow the path around the edge of the wasteland. Why did I curse him? I don't have any food to share. So I get pissed at him? No, he helped. After a while, another path joins this one. Looking back along it, you see a broken fountain. A track climbs the rise at your back, towards a hovel. This is the far edge of the wasteland. Ahead, you make out a line of dark trees. The fence, the low hovel, the fountain. You climb the rise towards the hovel. It is merely a tent pitched in a clearing, guy ropes held down by rubble. Listen at the door. You stand and hold your breath, but you hear nothing. Perhaps it is unoccupied. Certainly it can't contain much. You step into the shade of the tiny hovel and your eyes widen. The room inside is lined floor to ceiling with trinkets, knickknacks, bric-a-brac, and other miscellaneous stuff. Some of it is piled on the shelves, some hangs from the ceiling, even more leans against the walls. There are weapons, pottery, jewelry, domestic items, magical items, and so on. Hell yeah. Sitting cross-legged on the floor in the midst of this is a small bearded gnome who rubs his hands and greets you as you come in. I have come to rob you! No, but maybe I will. Greetings, the gnome answers enthusiastically. He pats the ground beside him. Let's see if we can do a little bartering. As you can probably tell, I've no interest in money. The gnome gestures around his little room. There's clearly a lot to choose from, but the items which stand out are a pot of beeswax, a bag of goblin's teeth, a compass whose needle quivers in a direction which is close to but not actually north. What would you like? Beeswax? I know the teeth summon goblins. The beeswax was for something. Oh, there's the crystal orb that I couldn't fix. There it is. Any blade will become razor sharp and do double damage. Really could be useful. But some reason this compass, when you have something weird in the game, just sitting here like a compass that's almost north, makes you go, interesting. It's not a normal compass. Instead, it will point you to where it thinks you need to go. I'm afraid it has a mind of its own and isn't always correct. It probably won't work in the countryside either. So basically, if I take it, it's just for the city, and it may or may not help me get around. Or the double sharp weapon. You know, I think I'm going to go with the compass. Just test my luck. Anything else? Oh, good. I can take this beeswax, too. All done? Very good. I counted you taken 2 things, so that means I've taken the same number of things from you. I'm quick. You probably didn't notice me doing it. Good day. Wait, what did you take? What did you take? Let's see. You took the face mask. That is unfortunate. The scary face mask. And other items. What was on my other items? Something that I didn't need anymore. So we took the face mask for the compass. And so I lose this. Which I suppose is okay. And the other one was something in my miscellaneous. What did you take? I have no idea. I'm a kleptomaniac. It should be fairly obvious, and what's more, I couldn't see into your pack when taking it, could I? I'm very fair. I took exactly the right amount of things, so we're all square. Yeah, I don't trust this guy to just not, I'll take it. I took the trade. I didn't know what I was getting into, but I think I'll be okay. I just wish I remembered what it was in my other stuff. Get out of the hovel. Well, he didn't take my chain, and he didn't take the wig, and he didn't take the mind reading thing. After a while, another path joins this one. Ahead, the sun is setting. The needle on the compass is quivering. Check it. It is pointing firmly towards the iron fence and the heavy trees. I'm going to detour to the fountain real fast. You make your way between the blasted walls and the weed-encrusted rubble. There's a constant movement in the corner of your eye. Rats scurrying to hide under stones and cracks. The path turns around a large stone fountain, which is toppled over on side, revealing an empty well shaft leading down into the earth. Look into the fountain. It's carved to resemble a gigantic serpent leaning up from the base of the pedestal, its jaws open to devour a marble sun. Openings in the stone suggest that when the fountain was working, water ran between the scales down into the base, as though the serpent was being pushed down by a rainstorm. You know what? I'd lose money all the time anyway. We'll drop a coin. Wishing to the ape for good fortune, you toss a coin into the well. It plunges into darkness, then with a thunk it hits something, barely a foot or two down. By the sound it made, a wooden board. You peer over the edge of the well and look into the darkness below. There seems to be some kind of wooden ledge built across half the shaft, a short way down. A gold piece is sitting on the ledge. Beyond the ledge, the well continues into darkness. Drop a stone in. Find a stone and toss it in. It falls past the ledge and hits another a little further down. Someone has built a way into the well. Let's go. I'm going to need the grapple hook to get back out, aren't I? You land on a platform built half the width of the well. Your piece lays by your feet. Take the coin. Perhaps it has brought you luck, enabling you to find this place. Distant noises echo up. Look. It disappears into darkness. Yeah. What if I use my falling spell? Fall. Falling spell is just called fall. And there is an F here. I just saw it. Where'd it go? F-A-L. Fall! Step over the edge. And float down to the level below. Whee! Whee! How am I going to get out? No fucking clue. You hit the edge with a thump. Around you, the well shaft is pitch black. It's impossible to tell if this ledge covers the whole width of the shaft or is there another drop inches away. I don't have any spells for light. I could cast a fireball. Feel the walls. Moving carefully, not wanting to lose your footing, you feel across the stone. The walls are cool, solid, and damp. But then you find the edge of a brick. Another below it the same. The stone in the walls of the well have been removed. The tunnel mouth has been created. The only thing I have for light is my fireball, and that's way too many points for 5. I could try a how. I can do a how if I need to. We'll just make a move first. You cannot sit forever in here forever and starve. Enter the tunnel. The walls of this narrow tunnel are hewn rock. You can feel the harsh grooves of pickaxes and shovels as you trace your fingers over the surface. The work of dwarves, perhaps? Or maybe these tunnels are older than Kare itself. The way slopes gently downward into pitch darkness. You inch your way forwards. Carefully. You go down the tunnel. You shuffle further. You make your way along the tunnel. Your foot catches a loose stone which skitters away into the dark, then suddenly goes quiet. Tunnel ends in a wide hole. Examine the hole. Kneeling down, you find the lip of the stone with your fingertips. You feel out the size of the gap in the floor. It is as broad as the tunnel and deep enough that you cannot see the far side. But something juts through it. Top of a ladder? Climb down ladder. I am walking around in darkness. You swing yourself over the edge of the hole and begin to climb down. It seems to be quite a long way, and the ladder bends and warps as you make your way down. Halfway down, you feel like you could be hanging in the darkness of the sky itself. That's when you hear the approaching cry. Move faster, it screams, a goblin's voice. I'm still going careful. Heart and mouth, you continue moving slowly where you have the ladder until you reach the floor of the sewer below. You're still alone. Perhaps the echoes made the goblins seem closer than they are. You stand in a cavernous sewer tunnel filled knee-deep with slow-flowing, stench-filled water. It's pitch black. You could be standing on a mountaintop or inside a coffin, except that it is for a single speck of light somewhere in the distance. Wait. You wait, and within a few moments, the tunnel is filled with goblins. There are not one or two, but a whole army, led by a tall, stocky, elder goblin, chanting weird guttural song. They pause a short distance away from you, and the leader steps forward. You should not be here, the goblin leader declares. This is the domain of the Mad King, and of us. Ah, the Mad King, the Doom. Go underneath, and you'll find the Doom, the King. Remember the crazy guy with a sign. Take me to the king. The goblin laughs. Certainly, we will drag your corpse to his feet. He gestures behind him, and one of his warriors steps up, grinning. Oh, okay. Well, we're gonna be really... If this doesn't work, I'm gonna die. You cast a spell, creating a fireball that you fling at the nearest goblin. It evaporates in a cloud of smoke. The goblin leader laughs. You're feeling breathless and weak. What is my fate? You have died. Alright. Let's see. Was there anything else I could have maybe done? I don't think so. I don't think there's anything I can do at the well at this point. Unfortunately. I don't know enough about goblins. Anything else I could try? Big how, dud, or tell. Let's just see what we can come up with here. Big how, dud, or tell. There's only one I can do of all of those. Dud. You cast a spell, filling the sewer with gold and riches. The goblins cackle with glee. You are wealthy. We will be glad to rob you of your body when you are fallen. Well, hey, at least I have a chance. You can't do more than a 6. Oh, but you did a defense. Fuck it. I'm not gonna make it through here, so we'll just continue. I got 1 stamina. Yep. Alright. So the sewers I'm not prepared for. I do not have enough stamina to deal with this right now. So going back in time, we're gonna go follow the compass. Climb the ivy, turn back, cast a spell. The path ends at a tall iron fence overgrown with weeds. Through the dense leaves, you can make out a wide area beyond, dotted with stones and small buildings and straight, somber trees. It's the necropolis. Climb the ivy. Touch the ivy, it seems tightly wound about the railings. Wedging one toe between the metal bars, you grip the cords of the plant and haul your way up. Then a second foot is up and you are climbing, though you can feel the plant tearing under your hands. Okay. You keep going, hoping that if you move quickly, you'll clear the fence before the ivy comes away. You don't manage it. Near the very top, you feel the sap leaking between your fingers and the cords of the Plant snapped. You fall painfully into the rubble-strewn ground. However, all is not lost. Where the plant was torn away from the fence, a foxhole has been revealed leading underneath the fence. Something, a rat perhaps, scurries through the fence and back into the wasteland. Climb to the hole. You kneel down and wriggle your way into the foxhole. It is so narrow that you have to keep your arms out in front of you and drag your pack along behind, but thankfully it is short, coming out the other side of the fence less than 2 strides away. You pull yourself up from the hole in the ground and into the graveyard. And that is probably the good place to stop here. We'll pick this up next time. I'll see you then.